What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Bald Podcast. The newest installment is here. That's right. We're doing College Tales again. That voice crack was awesome, by the way. We're doing College Tales again.
Part
And
two.
the last time we were here, I don't know, did I like bamboozle you a lot with the stories that I told?
Well, the big surprise I found was when you told me there were 10 different stories. Some of them were sort of like, I suppose, extension, like ones were like an extension to another, but the fact you'd come with a list of 10 was impressed me. Um, yeah, it was definitely a very chilled. Not that there's a lot of these are very chilled, these podcasts, but that one,
Right.
the listening to your college tales was very laid back, and also
Yeah.
got me talking about my own my own adventures in the past.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's good to look back on those things. So the way semester worked for the second one, like there were a lot of like breaks, like spring break and shit, where I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, this happened since we last did a podcast," you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened because I was like looking back. Usually I use Snapchat photos to like look back on times,
Mm.
to see what I can come up with, and boy did a lot happen in the last time we talked, and I have narrowed it down to 8 fine and dandy stories. And I think it is only fitting to start from the beginning of the semester. The first
Mm.
night I stayed at school for the second semester. I have it labeled here as opening weekend because I got back to school on a Sunday, right? It was a
Mm.
Sunday. Classes started that Monday, so I didn't really have a choice to get like situated. And I have a friend who had plans on like rushing sororities and shit this semester. Good friend of mine. You probably saw it on like Facebook and shit. Uh,
Mm.
she actually ended up getting into her sorority, but
Ah.
she reached out to me that night, and she was like, "Do you want to go to a party?" And I was like, "Oh shit, but classes start tomorrow." And she was like, "Fuck it." And then I thought that for a second. Then I was like, "Fuck it." So we're keeping track. I have been at school for a total of maybe 3 hours, and I'm going to this damn party, right?
Nice.
Like as soon as I get back. And I got a gift from a friend of mine. I won't get into details of who. And it was this bottle of Jim Beam whiskey. I fucking love Jim Beam, by the way. That's like my drink of choice. So I went into this party, right? Had a lot of good conversations with people or whatever. I socialized, I guess. But then, okay, so do you know the song? Do you know like songs that have like drinking games with them?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to do that with like a beer, you know, a Mike's, a
Mm.
Twisted Tea. All I had in my hand was this damn bottle of Jim Beam whiskey, right? And I was like, well, I don't want to feel excluded. So I played this drinking. You know, Rattle and Bog, that song? It's a very American thing, so you probably won't know it.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I know that one.
Okay. Well, basically, there's a certain point where you have to start like chugging your drink,
Yeah.
and until another point hits, and all I had was this Jim Beam whiskey, so I played with the damn Jim Beam whiskey, which is a hard liquor in case we aren't aware.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say whiskey.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, no matter what's in it. Uh, yeah, that's a dangerous game you're playing there.
Yeah, I was drunk enough already at that point where I didn't, think before I did, right?
Mm, yeah.
It was one of those scenarios where my stupidity went up, and the people noticing went down because I was at a really big group function, in town. So everybody else was just kind of busy around me. And
Mm.
granted, I shared with my friends that I went with to the party and stuff the whiskey, right? It didn't make it. It didn't make it the whole night.
Oh.
It didn't make it the whole night. Yeah.
No.
And the best part about it is I ended up walking my friend who invited me out back to her dorm and shit, cause fucking spooky walking at night, right?
Hmm.
And it was me, her, and another one of her friends, and one of her friends was in the same dorm I was in. So I had to walk back with this girl that I had just met from this fucking party, right? And I was barely functional. So embarrassing meeting a girl for the first time in a no bueno state. No bueno. And that's pretty much the whole story. Basically, we had an elevator because I was up on the third floor, I think, of the dorm building, and I couldn't hit the buttons on the elevator. I had to have her do that for me. It was no bueno. No bueno. Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing night.
Are you still friends with this girl?
The girl that I had to walk back with.
Yeah.
We're friendly.
Oh, okay. You don't like
I don't
hang
talk
out
to her
or...
too much. No.
No. Yeah.
A lot of the times, it's usually, oh yeah, we're trying to get into the same sorority. Because a lot of my time at parties and shit is with this girl who's in the sorority. She's kind of like my ticket in, if you will.
Hmm. Always good to have one
Even
of those.
even though we're actually good friends, and it's not like I'm using her to get into parties, but like,
No.
that's just how it is. and they didn't end up rushing the same sorority and shit, so like the reason for me to talk to her, I guess, is like not really there. So yeah, no, still friendly though, but that was a bit of an embarrassing night to start off the semester, if you will. Yeah, you got anything similar to that?
No, you see, I can't recall I certainly can't recall getting myself into any sort of like chugging drinks off of songs incidents.
Yeah.
No, you see, I can't. No, I can't think of any specifics like that. But maybe there's probably been something. I probably did something at some point on a night out of just like absolutely going for it with something I was drinking. I was never usually the sort of person that would just completely down a drink unless it was
Right.
a shot or something.
Yeah. Dude,
But
did you see the Smokey podcast today? And he took like 10 shots of whatever the fuck he was drinking. That like
yeah, I think
Korean drink.
yeah, his podcast with Courtney, very insightful,
Oh
very
yeah, it was a
interesting.
good podcast for sure.
I think I didn't fully notice it because there was points definitely when I was watching the video where it was sort of like because it's just really it's basically become an audio podcast for with Smokey.
Right.
I can sort of like look away or look at my phone or whatever, so I probably didn't notice how many drinks he was taking. But
No, I would look away and look back, and he's just pouring another one. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Smokey.
well, you can't do it in your
No.
own home.
Exactly. Who's stopping him? He's not going
Yeah,
anywhere. He doesn't have
you can
anybody to hurt.
you can certainly handle his drink if he was having that many.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not surprised that he can just handle a drink like that. That doesn't surprise me about him. You know,
Yeah.
he gives off heavyweight vibes.
Well, I think he said in the video, like he used to be. I can remember when he used to do the ninja stuff in Japan, and I loved
Right.
in his video when he mentioned it, and then he was just like, "Yeah, I used to do it, and then I got fat." It's just
Jesus.
it's just the way he said it.
Yeah, no. It's called
Rip.
it's called drinking. By the way, I realized that there's like generally speaking a couple of kids that usually watch these videos. I just want to say I am not an example. Do not follow my lead, please.
Yeah, don't try this at home,
Especially
kids.
at some certain points in this podcast, do not follow my lead. I am a trained professional and also a fucking moron. So, it's It's okay. Just don't follow my lead. Also, might I add with that story, I'm having this realization now. That was like 3 days after I rolled my fucking Mustang, and I was
Oh,
dealing, and I was dealing with a lot of fucking trauma, which
and pain, I could imagine. You were probably still like
which is not
bruised.
an optimal time to drink
Yeah.
when you have like a certain select amount of mental trauma. Because what I realize is that when that shit happens, you just kind of keep drinking,
Hmm.
which is kind of why I didn't stop.
You could probably use that as a sort of a way to get in with the ladies. It's like, yeah, I just got back
Oh my
from
god,
rolling.
my
From
confidence goes up from. I have a story, like, I think it's the next one that I'm telling, but I have a
okay.
story that will relate to the people in the jumping community, and it'll be fucking hilarious because my confidence when I drink goes from 0 to 1 fucking 100, dude, like with girls. It's crazy. It's like in an awkwardness because like I'll get their like number or snap or whatever, and then I'll just do nothing with it when I'm sober. You know.
Yeah.
And then I'll go out another night and I'll ask the same girl for her snap, and then it's just like, oh shit, I met you. Yeah, and not chumpy drunk is like a different kind of disaster, you know.
Hmm.
It's on another level. So this next story I'm gonna tell, this led perfectly actually into this was like 4 weeks into the semester. Sonic is gonna have a field day with this story. I think I might have already told Sonic, but he's gonna have a field day with this one. I was at a party one time, and I there was a girl who I thought was like pretty or whatever. I was like, oh shit, I should go talk to her. At this point, I had already talked to like 3 girls, so I was like on like a fucking roll, like menace to society shit. And I was like, what pickup line should I use? What pickup line should I use? And then I remember one time I was having a conversation with Joey about how I totally pull girls using the fact that I'm a Ninjas of
Oh
Halo Grand
no.
Champion.
Yeah.
Drunk as shit,
And
by the way. I just hit her with that. I legitimately did. I said, I am a Grand Champion of Ninjas of Halo. I said that to her face.
and what was
Luckily, it was somebody who I still have not seen since that day. Thank fuck, right? I hit her with that, and she was like, dude, what the fuck does that mean? And then I just said, I don't know. Can I get your number?
and did
And
you?
it worked. It worked.
Oh
It
yes.
fucking worked because she was so fucking thrown off guard. Shit. I,
Oh
I
god.
managed to get her so fucking confused that I just hit her with that. She was like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh
that that
god.
is that is one of my W's on this list.
Oh, I wish when I was back in my party days, I wish and was, younger because you probably wouldn't know this, but for about almost 2 years now, I've gone for you've all seen it in my face cam videos, but for nigh on 2 years now, I've gone for the full mustache and beard look,
I've seen it.
whereas
Yeah, I follow you
prior
on
to
Facebook, man.
yeah, prior to that, it was a case of maybe like I'd grow it a little bit and then shave it and then grow it and then maybe I'd just grow the mustache and then leave the mustache and shave the beard. Um,
Yeah.
but if I had the confidence in my younger years when I was, pre-beard and, being pre-beard was like I looked like a youth with my baby face
Right.
looks. I mean, the way I looked like 3 years ago when COVID, just before COVID hit, I just look I look like such a baby, uh, clean shaven and got less
Right.
weight. But if I had the confidence to just on night outs be like, yeah, I've beaten this course 19 times, I've beaten this course 15 times, I'm a
Yeah.
10-time, yeah, just like,
I'm an all-star on Halo Ninja Warrior, girl. Yeah. No. I I don't know why that went through my mind,
I
and I
can't
don't know
believe
why
that
it
worked.
worked. I don't know why it worked. Girls are fucking confusing, by the way. Can we talk about that? They're fucking confusing. Cause I'll go with the fucking nicest pickup line, and it won't work, and then I'll hit her with something like that.
Well,
And it just,
she was clearly either
I'm sure she was drunk
like
as shit too.
yeah,
If
drunk as
she,
shit or
yeah,
thrown off completely by what you said.
I'm sure drunk as shit, and thrown off completely. I'm sure. Yeah, no. This next story, we're gonna take a step back, and we're gonna look. And we're gonna take a break from the drinking and the fucking partying for a second, and I'm gonna tell you about the worst road trip of my entire life.
Apart
And
from
not the
rolling the
worst road
car.
trip, but fucking up there.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with three of my friends. Two of them are girls. One of them's a guy. So there's four of us, right?
Hmm.
And we were just like, dude, let's go to Dave and Buster's. You know what Dave and Buster's is?
No,
It's this fucking pizza place that has like a shit ton of arcade games.
that sounds
But to
fun.
go to one, but to go to one, you have to go to King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia, which is about an
That's
hour and a half away from
okay.
where I'm going to school at, right? So we had to go for this drive, and this place was in a big ass mall. Those of you who are from the PA slash around here area knows King of Prussia is a fucking huge mall, and we went there, the four of us, and that trip was doomed from the fucking start because something happened where one of the guys who was with the one guy who was with us started pissing off one of the other girls that was there,
Oh
and they were
God.
just pissed at each other the entire fucking trip. Like I think Connor was just being name drop. I think he was just being fucking annoying. But like at some point a line got drawn where she was just pissed off the entire trip. And meanwhile the other girl dropped her fucking like wallet somewhere and it was lost for like an hour in this giant ass mall. We ended up finding it. But like there was like an hour of just straight panic amongst us. And then we had the drive home.
Oh no.
Ugh. Oh boy. The most awkward fucking drive in my life. Because
Yep.
one girl had just got done having a mental breakdown. One girl is pissed off at the dude. And the dude's just kind of fucking confused as to why everybody's upset. And I'm just sitting here in the car like fine and dandy. So nobody wanted to be in this fucking car. And we had an hour and a half on the road.
If that was me, if I wasn't driving, I would have just pretended to go to sleep. I'd have just
Dude,
stuck
I
my head
just sat
against
on
the
my phone.
window. I'd have just stuck my head against the window and either gone to sleep or pretended to be asleep.
Yeah. No, the worst fucking car ride of my life. Luckily though, at Dave and Buster's, I did end up getting enough from the arcade to buy a premium Dave and Buster's shot glass.
Nice.
Yeah. And I have that somewhere in my room right now, waiting to bring it to school. Whoop de fucking do. Anyways, yeah. Any road trips like that in your life?
But no, you see, the only road trips I go on really is ninja stuff,
All
and
right.
regretfully, a vast majority of them are on my own, which kind of sucks. I'd love to get to a point where I can go on a ninja trip and I'm not the one driving. Like I can just have someone else drive for me. It'd
Mhm.
be great. I can't remember the last time I got to go somewhere and I wasn't driving. Um, I remember
Yeah.
about almost 3 years ago, just before I got the job that I'm still at now. Um, this was just after I'd lost my last job because of COVID.
Right.
We went like to this holiday place in like the far southwest, by the
Right.
seaside, by the coast, and it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive. I can remember that we stopped like a couple of times, but it was really good fun. That was the sort of drive I actually enjoyed. Enjoyed driving on a road trip somewhere. Because
Right.
I didn't have a clue where I was going. It was somewhere I hadn't been before, and I think we did it. We just like music that was on Spotify. Because I had the Google Map up, because I had the sat nav up of where we were
Right.
going. You couldn't see like the art, like what who the song was, who the artist was, all that crap. So we were playing like the game of like, can you guess
Guess
who
who
it
it is?
is? Guess who it is, but can you also guess what year it came out?
Oh,
Um,
right.
which is actually a surprisingly fun game,
Hmm. Yeah.
challenging as
No,
well.
I, I like long road trips when everybody's enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
You know, what's even better is road trips on your own, bro. I fucking love that. Like, I, I have to drive to and from school, which is also like an hour and a half to and from. And
Hmm.
it's a fucking lovely drive. It's awesome. Like it's just far enough to where you get tired of driving by the end of it, but it's also like close enough to where you get to like just bop out for an hour and a half. It's nice.
Hmm.
And that I also do like drives to Pittsburgh a lot and stuff like that. I'm gonna get into a couple drives later, but
Yeah.
and I like it. It's fun.
I don't dislike it. It's not like, yeah, whenever I go on these trips for ninja comps and stuff, like the one I was going to be going on tomorrow, um,
Mhm.
it's not that I dislike it. It's just more a case of I've done it so often and quite often on my own that it's kind of just one of
Right.
those now. Um,
Yeah. Oh
so
boy.
what's the next story you got?
It's another story that doesn't involve drinking, which it will come
Okay.
off as a bit of a surprise for you. Um, or partying. Those are later. Because honestly, I have a lot of wacky stories, but like they weren't all just like, oh yeah, I got drunk this one time. No, I was a lot better about that this semester. When I chose to be.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this next story takes place the first day of classes, right?
Hmm.
Which was January 16th, I think it was. It was a Monday. First day of classes, I show up. I walk outside to walk to my history building because that's where I was going to, and I just see, okay, American politics. It fucking sucks, right? It's just like nobody enjoys themselves talking about politics in America. As a social studies major, I fucking hate it. Right? There
Hmm.
was this fucking big ass fucking like crowd of people that had like a bunch like they were protesting, but I don't really understand what they were protesting. Are you familiar with Mormonism?
Mormons, yeah.
They were a bunch of Mormons, and going to a college where there's a lot of people who have a lot of free will, and you show up there with signs that say women belong in the kitchen and stuff like that.
Oh God.
People, it'll cause a bit of ruckus, right?
Yeah.
It,
I got
and oh boy, it did.
yeah. I've
Cause
got into
I
some bad shit once. I've got that on an episode. I think I say so. It's get back in the kitchen on a female run in an old episode.
oh
And
no,
this was when I was still at school, and it caused a lot of shit when it came out.
oh no, oh god, I'm
Uh,
gonna try to find the video of that for you, but like I just there were signs like, oh, what the fuck, end the war on anuses or something like that, and I was just like, what the fuck does that even mean?
what?
And like you'll see if I can find the video. It was just there was a crowd of students like surrounding these protesters, basically
Hmm.
just yelling like "fuck you" and shit.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. That day it was just nuts because it
Hmm.
was like I had 3 classes that day, so I had to be back and forth, and each time I happened to be passing where the protesters were.
Hmm.
So Not optimal, of course.
No.
Not too optimal. Oh, here. I found them. I'm sending them to you. It fell send. But I just would pass them and they would just be shouting shit like, "Yeah, women they belong in the kitchen," and like, you guys gotta put clothes on," and like, you gotta like, you confess, like, give your soul to God, and like everything will be okay. And I'm just like, people don't.
It actually
Uh,
says stop the war on anuses.
yeah, it actually says, and notice a poor child is holding it.
I love the
A
look
poor
on your I love the look on your face in one of them. You just have like an open mouth, like what the
Yeah,
fuck?
no, I was in a state of just shock because I was like, these people actually exist. These
Oh,
people
yeah.
actually, and I was sitting there thinking, and one of the guys like shouted, "So what exactly are you protesting?" And none of them could come up with an answer. None of them knew why they were there.
Oh God.
That day was so fucking wild that the security at our school has gone up tenfold because of that crowd. Like, you saw it, how many people were surrounding
There
that.
was a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, no bueno. And then
No.
I think at one point one of like two of the dudes like just walked into the middle of a circle and just started like kissing or whatever, and it freaked them the fuck out. Cause the guy had like his fucking jaw dropped and shit, and I was just like, fucking weirdos, bro.
Uh,
I hate people like that. That like want to yell and scream just to like yell and scream. It's just
it, if you're protesting over something that actually is meaningful, like, and I'm sure this, whatever that was meaningful to them. Maybe, I don't know,
maybe.
but um, like, no, it's just like if it's not really anything at all, then it just is just no. You free right to protest and all that. I absolutely believe that. I believe in that sort of thing.
Right.
But no,
Don't
if it's some
protest
if it's
something
some
fucking
weird
stupid.
shit, yeah, if it's some weird shit, then
Yeah, no. That was a wild day. Cause I remember getting an email just like, if those people show up again, just walk away. Don't say anything. And I'm just like, dude,
definitely
that's
don't
never
punch one of
gonna.
them in the face.
I was just like, dude, that is never gonna fucking happen. I think at one point somebody challenged them to a dance off because it was weirdly in just a weird big circle. Yeah, no, that day was wild. Um, all right. I think we've had enough of a break from the drinking and shit. Let's get right back into it. Right where people want to hear, right?
Is this story 5? Well, I don't even know where we're at now.
I added an extra story because I just realized it. So we're
Okay.
on 4 out of 9.
Okay.
All right. So this story, I think I told you recently. I went on an endeavor to the blessed state of New Jersey. Oh, that fucking place, dude. There are a bunch of psychopaths in New Jersey, by the way. Driving up there was awful. I
Hmm.
remember I was in PA for most of the trip, and at one point there was this bridge, and it was crossing the Delaware River, and at the end of that bridge was getting into the state of New Jersey. And once I crossed that damn border, there was no speed limit. There was no speed limit on the road because I would be like fucking like I cut off just randomly. I'd be like tailgated by like literally everybody, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to fucking be here anymore. What the hell is going on? And so I get to Jersey. I finally get to this house. By the way, fucking rich ass house. Kind of crazy. This was the girl who I go to parties with and shit, is who I was visiting, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And she invited a bunch of her fucking sorority friends. So it was me, her boyfriend, and just a fuck ton of women, right?
Nice.
And it was like there was a pool in the backyard, and we were all just hanging out there. I didn't bring anything to go swimming in, like no swim trunks or anything.
Hmm.
So, and people started getting into the pool right as I was getting into like my, like game mode, right? I was like, shit, I have to like find a way to talk to these people, right?
Hmm.
And I decide, hang on, let me grab my Twisted Tea, and I'm wearing jeans and a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt, mind you, and socks.
Hmm.
And I get my ass in that pool
Nice.
with the fucking clothes on, drunk as shit, and I spitted like the most like awful game of some shit. I don't even remember. I was so drunk, but I went into a pool with all my clothes on without a change of clothes.
Oh.
To talk to these girls. Got a few Snapchats. I won't lie. I was successful
Okay.
on my
Yeah.
operation, but it was at the cost of a comfortable drive home.
Hmm.
I had a pair of
Yeah.
shorts, a damp ass T-shirt, no socks. So I drove not barefoot, but had my bare feet in a pair of shoes for 3 hours
Hmm.
on the drive home due to the fucking alcohol. This is why we don't drink, kids. It's stuff like that. Because
I,
initially I didn't. If I was sober, I would have thought about it like, oh, I don't have clothes, do I? Hmm. Not
I'm not sure.
optimal.
I'm not sure how much of that one was influenced by alcohol, as more so just a wanting to fit in with
Flirt.
all these people. Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
was
think the
definitely
alcohol
part of it.
probably I think the alcohol probably helped the decision making.
Oh yeah. No, that was no bueno because I slept that night and I caught up. So we all slept in the same fucking room for some reason, like me and like 8 other people. And I woke up. This is a fucking gross part of the story. I wake up and somebody's like just barefoot is just in my face. Like I I don't know how it didn't wake me up. That like somebody's foot was just right fucking there, and I was just like, oh. No, I actually ended up choking with this girl after that, and yeah, it was funny, but
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty much sums up my trip to Jersey. It had its losses, but it also had its wins.
Hmm.
Got to meet her dog, which is fucking, just adorable. It's a,
Good.
a dachshund. You know dachshunds?
Yeah.
I fucking love those things. So yeah. That's pretty much it for my trip to Jersey. It's really weird. I have to be like, any comments on her?
No. I was gonna say. I mean, the only comment I was gonna jump in then is that I just finally got to experience the crooked wall on Smokey's course. It didn't go well,
Yeah.
but that doesn't really contribute to New Jersey.
No, dude, stay the fuck away from New Jersey. That's what I learned today.
Get the fuck away from the
Stay
crooked wall.
the fuck away from New Jersey. Um, what's my next? Oh, Saint Frat. Awesome. I love this story. So this was around St. Patrick's Day weekend. This was
Hmm.
St. Patrick's Day weekend, and at my school, there's this big ass party thrown by pretty much all of the Greek life people. It's a darty, so it's outside, and it's called Saint Fratties, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of lame, but there's people there and there's drinking. And as an Irishman, a 25% Irishman, I
Yeah.
fucking I love the concept of drinking on St. Patrick's Day. So, I had to drive. I was at home to start the day because I stayed the night. That Friday night, it was a Saturday. Because I wanted to watch a baseball game at home, and I start driving back, and I get pulled over by the fucking feds. Pulled over by the feds,
no.
and I get a ticket. I've had my fair share of those. But not a great start. My parents were not pleased to find that out. But I didn't tell them until after the day was over, as I wanted to have fun that day.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And let's see. I got back to school at around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I think I was sober until about 11 o'clock in the morning. And I don't think I was sober the rest of the day. Because the thing with darties, like afternoon parties and shit, is that once you're done at the party, what the fuck do you do from then? Like, what do you do next? I had no clue, so I just kept going. And cause I had like 8 people staying at my dorm, and a lot of them stopped drinking because they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be like sick tomorrow if I keep going." And I'm like, "Dude, not me."
Oh God.
And dude, I have never been hungover for a full day before, but I don't recommend.
No.
Like a full 24-hour hangover.
Oh God. No. That just
It
sounds like
absolutely,
hell.
absolutely awful, and it wasn't even worth it because after Vidardi, no frats wanted to throw actual parties at like night because it's like, oh yeah, we just spent all our energy on this during the day, and I'm just like, oh, there's nothing to fucking do. Why'd I keep drinking? Like there was a point where I just got bored of being drunk.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've ever hit that point before, but I
No,
was just sitting there
considering.
and I was like, the fuck am I
Yeah.
doing with my life? Why am I here? Why am I like this?
No, there's probably plenty of people that go drinking a lot that have had that feeling before. Like, what am I doing with my life?
For real. Oh my god, dude. No, not optimal. There was one time, quick segue story. Uh this was a Thursday night, and normally the whole concept is not to drink on weekdays, but this day was special. I forget what it was. Oh, it was a J-Dog. So did I tell you about how like there's this church group that gives out fucking hot dogs and shit
Possibly.
like
Yeah.
late at night, and the
Think
goal
so.
is to not show up sober
Hmm.
on Thursdays. Yeah,
Think
so
so, yeah.
basically I had that, and I got back, and I was like, "Fuck it, I don't have class tomorrow." And at one point, I was on my wheelie chair that I have in my room, and I just fell off of it onto the floor, and I just laid there and passed the fuck out. And the worst part is that my roommate wasn't even home, and when he got back the next morning, I was passed out on the fucking floor. And he was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, no. Not not these are
Oh
down
dear.
bad times in
Yeah.
Chumpy's repertoire. Yeah. Nope. Don't if you're gonna drink, stop at a certain point. Just pick a
Yeah.
time and just enjoy being drunk.
Yeah. Don't go all in.
The stories will continually get worse from here on out, but like
Oh. No.
just stop. Okay, what's the next story? Fuck. Oh, this story is another side story that's not going to take long, but I don't know if I've been too open about this. I have 3 whole fraternities that are expecting me to rush in the next semester.
Uh,
Like
expecting you to
join their
rush.
frat. Join
Ah.
their frat.
Okay.
And I don't want to rush any of them,
Hmm.
but they all are like begging me to. right? And I'm just like, I don't need to pay for friends. If it were for free, the whole fucking frat thing, if I could do that without having to pay money, sure, I'll do it. But like, I'm not gonna waste a couple $100 to get shit faced even more than I already do. You know,
Hmm.
it's just not an investment I want to make. But yeah, no. Basically everybody in Greek life at my school fucking wants me to join. It's kind of weird.
I don't think it's just. I suspect it's not just you. Like I bet it's like. I bet it's probably the real world equivalent of, hey, want to run my course? But the
Oh my
difference is
god.
hey, want to join this our fraternity?
Yeah, right. No, it's actually very funny because I I'm in like parties regularly, but I'm
Hmm.
not in anything. I'll get
No.
into private parties just because my friend's in a sorority now. So
Yeah.
I'm there pretty much all the time. But not in anything. So I managed to fucking swindle the whole system. It's pretty alright, I guess. I don't know. I'm very chill with my situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to do that. Fuck that. Anyways, now
Back
on
to our
to
main
more
story.
drinking stories.
Yeah.
Uh, you probably saw this on Facebook. This is the formal night when I had to like get all dressed up and cleaned up and shit,
Yeah.
and go to some fucking Greek life shit. And afterward, there was not the fucking part like the formal part of it was kind of lame. Like I was just kind of being there to be nice at that point. But afterwards,
Oh God. Yeah.
when it was party time, woo! Oh my god. So basically, formal night was probably the worst night for Chumpy's drinking endeavors, right? The worst night.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to this after party and they were giving out free drinks. Like
Oh
you just
wow.
walk up and get something.
Yeah.
The reason why one of the frats want me to rush is because I would go and bullshit with the bartender in quotes, that was running this, who's in this frat so much because I had 6 drinks. And that's not where it ends. That party
No.
ends at roughly around midnight. And I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, midnight's a good time to go to bed, right? You
I was
agree?
gonna say midnight's early.
It's probably a decent time to go to bed if you don't really get out too much. Fuck no!
No, no.
I
Yeah.
I got in the car with my friend who's in a sorority and all of her friends. There was like 6 of us in this tiny ass vehicle, by the way. So we all had to
Mm.
squeeze in.
Mm.
And we went to a party in like the city nearby us. It's like not a city, but it's like a really big town with like shitty areas in it, right?
Mm.
This was a shitty area we were at, right?
Yeah.
And I was just there like, where the fuck are we? Because I was already drunk enough to where I was just like, yeah, I'll get in the vehicle. Let's go to this party. Yeah. I shit you not. I stay there till like 4 in the morning. We didn't leave that place till 4 in the morning. And oh boy, the amount of events that happened until that clock hit 4 in the morning. So
Such
wait,
as.
let's start with getting in the vehicle, right? My one
Yeah.
friend who is 21, one of her friends is 21, and was like, "Oh, I'm out of drinks. Can we go to Sheets serves alcohol, by the way."
Oh God.
And she was like, "Let's go to Sheets. I'll pick up a bunch of cans for everybody, and then we'll go to this party or whatever." And I was just like, "Okay, cool, right? And I was sitting in this car. A bunch of the people went inside. I did not because I was at a point where I was drunk enough to where moving was optional. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
was an optional task and not an easy one. So I was like, I probably shouldn't go into a public area. And so in this car, there was two girls in this car, and one of them was in the back seat with me, and I just started talking to her. I got her number in the car, right? And then she was like, I'm gonna go in and use the bathroom real quick at Sheets because they were taking a ridiculous amount of time, like a weirdly ridiculous amount of time. And then another girl who was in the back seat with us got back before she got back, and I start talking to this girl.
Oh God.
Got her number.
Oh.
So just so we're keeping track, there is six people in this car. One of them's a close friend of mine. One of them's me, and two of them I've gotten their numbers.
Yeah. That's it's going pretty well.
Or yeah, and at that point I'm like I should probably chill out before like people start catching on. And we get to this party, and well, one, I just start talking to this girl who I was talking, the first one, for like 2 hours straight at this party, and going really well, but it was drunk. So, take it with a grain of salt because I ended up going on a date with this girl, and talking to her sober just did not, it was kind of awkward, but I talked to this girl for like 2 hours. So it was like 2 a.m. at this point. I blacked the fuck out. Have you ever blacked out before?
Apparently I did once at a party, and I didn't think I did. Like I didn't believe. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you
No.
blacked out for like 2 hours.
No,
And-
I wouldn't have known that I blacked out if I didn't look at the clock as soon as I came back. Because I blacked out for like an hour straight. And then I came back and it's like 3 in the morning. I'm just like, where the fuck am I? And she's just like, dude, we've been talking for like 3 hours straight. I'm like, yeah, I remember the first two. And then she was like, geez, man, you gotta chill out. I had another drink. So as soon as we left this party at about 4 in the morning, my ass hit the car seat, and next thing I know, I'm rolling out of my bed. I don't know how I got there. Like, safe, because I wasn't there.
No.
And I'm just like, first off, whenever that happens and you're around a group of people, especially a group of girls, you start to freak out because you're like, oh, what if the intrusive thoughts fly? Because that happens drunk, but you can't save it whenever you're blacked out. I'm just like, oh man, my right to freedom of speech just went out the window. It's all gonna fly. Luckily, none of that happened. But at that night, I had successfully blacked out on two different occurrences. One of which was for an hour at the party. And by the way, it's like teleporting.
Yeah.
Like I can't save it anyway. I was so tired the next day because teleporting there and to my bed, I was just like, I don't remember sleeping. Like I was so tired all day. Yeah, no. Don't recommend that kind of night. Don't. No bueno.
Oh no, I would say yeah, do just maybe not once again, as Chumpy's already said, not so much alcohol.
Yeah, no. You see, I have this problem where, like, I can choose days whenever I drink and whenever I don't drink. Like, I don't have a problem. It's just once I do drink, I don't know when to stop. As shown here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of a W day because then I got a date with that girl and it was all right, I guess. I still talk to her a little bit. Today's actually her birthday. Wish her a
Hey,
happy birthday. But
happy
yeah, no,
belated birthday.
yeah. If you're watching this, oh fuck. uh, that's pretty much it for the drunken stories. But I do have one more tale to tell, and this tale to tell is the point where I especially hit. If we haven't already at this point, do not try this. Do not do no.
No.
Luckily, I was in a safe surrounding. Like I could basically move around freely, do whatever the fuck I wanted because this guy was really chill. But I tried a drug for the first time over the semester.
Oh.
Yeah. You ever done shrooms before?
Do I
Hunter?
look like the kind of person that does drugs or has
No.
ever done drugs?
Honestly, I felt a lot worse about this story before. Like, I thought this was going to be a really down bad moment, but it turns out one of my friends literally just this morning tried cocaine for the first time.
Oh God.
So I feel a lot less bad for myself because I could try a lot worse things. Right?
Hmm.
If you do the actual research, it's not that bad comparatively to like a fucking a cocaine, right?
Yeah.
Don't try it. Don't try it. Whatever you do. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. But I actually had a good trip with it. Like I didn't have a bad experience with it. Honestly, the reason why I saved this one for last was because of the fact that I did it. Not because it was a bad experience. Right.
No.
But basically if you want to know what that is like, basically I want you to look outside right now, Hunter. You
Hmm.
have like a yard nearby you.
The what's outside my window is just the road and other people's houses.
Oh, so you live in a city.
No, 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 no. We just don't really have. We've got like a drive with our cars on it, but
Do you
we
have
haven't really got a
grass
front.
nearby you?
Not not really. Not in the front. No. But
Oh, well, I want you to imagine a nice, yard of grass, right?
yeah.
Now I want you to depict it a shit ton more vibrant.
Okay.
That's what shrooms are like. You feel like you're a lot fucking like closer with the fucking earth. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a fucking stoner, but that's how
Yeah, I
it
know.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything just becomes a lot more vibrant. We went to there's a pond on campus. We walked down to that, which had like grass, a pond. Honestly, a fucking awesome thing to do whenever you're having a good time. If you try it, don't fucking try it. And it wasn't a bad experience, but I've heard a lot of people who okay, I had a good experience while doing it, but I got really depressive after doing it. If that makes any sense.
Hmm.
Cuz I was like it made my mood so fucking happy while doing it that whenever I came back down, I just like I fucking hated everything all day. That's why I will never do it again and why you shouldn't do it. That's my answer for today. But overall, while I was doing it, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Is it illegal?
I felt a lot
Mushrooms?
it is very illegal in PA, yeah.
Is there any? Oh yeah. Well, so obviously college. It's yeah.
It's very illegal. Yeah. No.
Is there any? I was gonna say, is there any drug that's sort of uh
Um weed is becoming legalized.
uh
It's
okay.
becoming legalized, but mainly medically.
Yeah.
Yeah, doctor's approval. But I don't try that.
No.
No. No. We're good influences today. Don't try drugs. Stay in school. Um that's honestly the last of my stories.
You know how to do his crooked wall? I've got to it.
You got to go a lot shorter than you used to.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky. Yeah, how do these stories compare to
Uh,
last
Pretty
time?
crazy. Pretty like you've done some pretty bad shit. Um, I'll be honest, I am struggling to remember the first ones just because of my
Oh, that
memory.
was the first night where I had to walk back with the girl.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm struggling to remember. No. I'm struggling to remember the ones from the first podcast. I mean, with
Oh,
my memory.
yeah. I
Um,
forgot mine
but
too. Fuck.
I feel like these ones were a real step up from the first
Don't
ones.
call it a step up. Fucking A. Don't try
Um,
this. Don't try this.
I'm trying. I've also, whilst I've been sat here, trying to think of any of my experiences that as a comparison. One with with the water, with the swimming.
Yeah.
When we went Germany a few weeks ago for our international competition,
Mhm.
we didn't really get much time to sort of like socialize and chill.
Right.
We got a little bit, but it was mainly like going to like find. There was only one night where we were all together, um, and then the other nights like I got there Friday, and the competition started on Saturday. Some people left as soon as it was over on the Sunday, um, but like this will all come out in the video. But the one thing we did do that was not food related, socializing, was we went to a local park in central Munich. That
Mhm.
I don't know if this is a thing in Germany, but they are obsessed with like um, open water locations. So just places where people of all ages can just go and swim around in like
Mhm.
ponds and lakes and
Yeah.
rivers and um they'd set up like these wave machine things that like surfers could use. So it was building up waves
Oh,
at the
that's
base
cool.
of a river, and these surfers were just getting on it to just sort of ride the waves. Um, but the group of us, there was I think it's five or six of us. Um, some of the other European slash the German guys that presumably live in Munich or live in Germany or live around Munich, um, they were like, "Oh yeah, let's jump in the river. Let's jump in the river. Let's start swimming down the river." And I wasn't going to do this because I, like you, had one pair of clothes on me, and it was what I was wearing, and I was wearing like tracksuit bottom, like tracksuit like joggers almost.
Right.
So and like no chance. And I had like
Yeah.
my phone and my wallet and my video camera on
So
me.
you
So
made the
like
good decision.
yeah, I filmed people jumping in. And yeah, people just jumped in and then were just floating down the river and we were like trying to chase them and follow. There's one bit where like they could grab like the bottom of a bridge and like, if you were skillful enough, you could pull yourself up and get on top of the bridge. But if
Right.
not, then you would just sneak underneath the bridge, um, keep following the water, and then just get out at a side somewhere. Um, yeah, it was fun. I would have probably enjoyed it a lot more if it wasn't so hot. Um,
That's valid.
but yeah, I don't know if I would have been brave enough to go in to jump in swimming.
Yeah, no. I yeah.
Did I ever tell you about
We
the
actually
time?
had about I think this was a little bit shorter last time
Yeah. Um,
getting through
did
all these stories.
yeah, I tell you what,
I
the
always
biggest
get
take
so winded after talking this long, you know.
yeah, I was gonna say this one's definitely Chumpy leads the way on these ones. So naturally he doesn't have many opportunities to get a breather. He does
Yeah.
now.
I know, I'm trying to maximize that shit if you couldn't
Did
tell.
he did I ever tell you there was I can't remember if I told this one on the first uh podcast. Um I was on a night out with my best mate at the time from school, Well, a couple of my best mates, but one of them had buggered off with another one, so it was just me and my and another mate of mine, and we were just
Right.
hanging out by this outside bar. We went to this club that was usually our go-to when we were like 18, 19.
Right.
Um, and it had like four bars in this club. There was one like inside the actual like dance floor part of the inside of the club. Then there was a little side bar. Then there was another bar, I think, like up a bunch of stairs somewhere. And then there was an
Hmm.
outside bar that was just huge, this huge outside area. Anyway, we were chilling outside, like, but there was like a canopy over covering the whole outside, so if it rained, you wouldn't get wet. Um, anyway, we were in the outside bar. We were just chilling, and there were these two girls. One of them looked certainly looked like she was a lot older than the other one. The other one was
Right.
like younger, smaller, little bit like not fat, but like a little bit chubby. Um,
Right.
not in a bad way. Nothing
Yeah.
bad, anything like that. Anyway,
Right.
my mate decides to start chatting up the old one, the older one, and he's pulling out these most shocking attempts at like pickup lines and jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I can only assume my friend, sorry, the woman was just humoring him. Like she was sort of listening along, but like not. Um. Oh
This is
shit!
similar to my Ninjas of Halo pickup line.
Oh my God! Sorry, for a second then I thought my Xbox was dying. Um. The yeah, he was. Yeah, she was just listening along, and then me, who's just staring the whole time. Well, just staring slash on my phone, and then staring again. Like trying not to laugh. Um, Me and the younger one just look at each other at the same time, and we both share that same look of like, this guy, this isn't
This
gonna
guy's.
work. This guy's not gonna pick up this. This is not going to work. And
Yeah.
we both just started sort of like laughing at each other. So then I went up to her and was like, "Hi, I'm Luke. Nice to meet you." I think her name was like Amy or something. And then we started chatting, and then we hooked up. Um,
Ah!
I, whilst he'd crashed and burned miserably, with the other one.
Right.
Um, yeah, we did. Well, I say hooked up. We had a sort of like a little kiss and tell for the night, and
Right.
then eventually she left, and that was it.
Yeah.
But it was
No,
just really
that's
funny the
really
way it
funny.
worked out. It was very funny the way it worked out.
Yeah.
She was chill. She was
Oh
very
my
good with her
god, my
hands.
roommate. I fucking love my roommate. He had a girlfriend like for both semesters until like halfway through the last semester.
Hmm.
Like he got like dumped hardcore, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of that time, man's went crazy. He like went like he would go out all the time and he would always just like talk himself up like cuz he would drink enough to like just go crazy with that shit.
Yeah. Goes insanely confident.
Right. And I'm just like, "Holy fuck, what did we create?" We've
Dear.
created a monster.
I'll tell you
Oh
one
yeah.
thing. So you're giving out some pro tips for things not to do. Specifically, don't drink too much. If there's one,
Right.
if there's one tip I could give is try to, and I give this to you, but this could apply to anyone that watches this as well. Always make sure you're set up for where you're going to be staying for the night. Because
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got two stories for you here. Both of them my own fault. Um, but in hindsight, I was probably pretty lucky on both occasions. Um, when I can't remember if this was I can't remember if this was um, you guys call it prom, don't you? Do you guys call it
Yeah.
prom? Leaving prom. Yeah.
Like the spring dance.
Yeah.
Yep.
For we have it as like a end of school, like leaving school kind of thing.
Right.
Um, But we had two. So we had ones for when we finished our like compulsory exams that everyone has to take, and then you have the second one, which is after you do your A levels, which is the exams you have to take if you want to get into university in this country.
Right.
I can't remember which one. I can't remember which one. I can't remember which prom this was, whether it was the first one or the second one. But either way, one of them, we were at the prom. We had the prom. It was great. Um, there was an incident with a girl, which I'll come on to. I've definitely told that story before, about
Mhm.
being
Oh,
about
at the
being
house party?
no, not the house party. So this was at the prom. I went to get a drink, and there was this girl there who I sort of like knew, like we knew each other, like everyone knew each other. Like I certainly wasn't mates with her. I'd probably chatted with her like surely at some point in the past in our school lives.
Right.
And her name was Lizzie. And I was just like, hey, yeah, what's up, Lizzie? You enjoying the night and all that and so blah, blah, blah. And we just started chatting away, probably chatting like more than we've ever chatted to each other before. Um, and then
Right.
one of her girlfriends just jumped in and just stole her away. It's just like, Lizzie, come over here, come over here. And she
Right.
completely ruined ruined
Oh
the
my God.
lovely
I gotta hate
conversation I
those
was
people.
having. Yeah.
Because sometimes
Uh,
it's just you're having a conversation to have a conversation,
I was
right?
punching way above my league with Lizzie, don't get me wrong. But
Okay.
um, yeah, but anyway, sorry, that was a side story. So we have the prom. The prom's great. We go back to a house part. We go back to one of our mates' house, and we sort of have a sort of like brief after party. Um, and then everyone's getting kicked out, and I thought I was staying at this house for the night. Um, for just because there was like a couple of other people, I think I thought most people were staying, but it turns out only like he could only like take a couple of people. Um,
Right.
so what instead, like his dad, I think it was, offered to drive me home. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, fine. But I knew like, oh shit, how am I gonna? Because if I go in, I'm gonna wake everybody up, and if I wake everybody up, they're gonna be like, why are you? They're gonna be pissed off, and then they're gonna be like,
Because, yeah.
why are you here? I thought you were staying out. Um, so uh, the stupid thing that I decided to do, and the house I was living in at the time, the way to get into it is to go to the back door. So you go through as a little side. It was like a connect. It was like two houses connected, and you'd
Right.
go through this little passageway, and then you'd go. One left is to one house, and right is to my house. Um, and then you
Right.
go in through the back door and all that. And so I get to the go left or right, and for some God knows what reason, decided instead of going right towards my house and towards the back door of my house, I decided to go left into the neighbor's house, walked in through their back garden, and went into their shed um, in the back garden and stayed in there for the rest of the night.
Oh my God.
And it was only for like 4 hours or something, or 3 or 4 hours. Um, and then by the morning after, I heard people in my house get up, go out, and it's like, okay, the coast is clear. I can sneak back in, and and that was it. God
Right.
only knows why I decided to do this instead of just waking people up, um, and sleeping in an actual bed for the night. Um, yeah, it was not
I
one of not one of my
I've been
smartest decisions.
invited to like parties around here, and I could never do that. Like go back home after a night out
Yeah,
to my parents.
yeah.
No, I couldn't.
Well, that
Oh, dude,
probably
this is
was my
actually really. This will
that
be a
was
really funny side story. You were talking about talking to a girl that was like above your league or whatever. I
yeah.
have a really funny tale. I wanted to go to this concert, right? Dominic Fike, I might have talked about in party chats before,
Hmm.
and I didn't end up going because I couldn't find anybody to go with. And I see on this one girl's story that she was at that concert. And I was just like, oh shit, I wanted to go. So I swiped up on that story and replied to it and was just like, dude, I'm actually really jealous, right? In like a funny, goofy way, like, oh, I'm so jealous that you went, right?
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, you should have gone. I would have totally brought you with me if you just told me. And I'm just like, this was the homecoming queen. It's like the most popular girl. So now I have her in my phone, by the way.
Nice.
And I also already had the fucking prom queen in my phone. So I was a fucking nobody in high school. I have both of them on my fucking phone. It's wild. Wild times. Obviously, nothing's going to happen with them, but I think it's really funny that I snapped these girls who were like way above my league a year ago. And now that because we've graduated and shit, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah,
Right?
I can't think of any association I've had with bizarrely, I think I've actually ran into girls that I went to like primary school with. I guess the equivalent would be middle school.
Hmm.
For you guys, I've ran into more people from my middle school days than from senior school.
Right.
Like since I started working. Um, but like yeah, I just have like absolutely no association with anyone really from when I used to go to school,
Right.
including like male or female, like including like my schoolmates, my best friends at school.
Right.
Um,
Honestly, I've lost a lot of those people. Like, I don't talk to a lot of them anymore.
no. Um,
Yeah. And
that
and it's
one,
only been a year.
yeah. Um, that story with the shed wasn't even the worst one. The worst
Oh
one
god.
was sometime after that, at some point in the future, when it was just normal nights out, action sort of thing. Um,
Hmm.
and the I've definitely told this story before in a party. I must have been somewhere around 20 or in my early 20s. Um, we had the night out. It was great fun. The friend that I mentioned earlier that failed with his chat up lines
Right.
wasn't on the night out. Um, but I was sort of banking and really hoping that he was still at home, and I could walk to his house and just stay at his, just you just camp at his for the night, and then figure out how I was going
Right.
to get home in the morning. Yeah, that was not the case. Um, nobody was
Jesus.
home. No, I walked. So we finished the night. I walk, or maybe I got a taxi to his house. Um, get out of the taxi. Taxi leaves. Discover that there is no one at the house. The house is locked up. There's no one
Right.
there. And I'm like, oh shit, what do we do? And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So instead, I go for a walk. Um,
Oh
I
boy.
wasn't gonna mention this part of the story, but you know what? Fuck it, I will. I'm not gonna get done for anything now. Um, where he lives is just down the road from where I used to go to senior school and stuff.
Right.
So I'm leaving his house. I'm walking back up the street, walk towards the school. I walk past the school, um, and suddenly I decide, oh, I wonder if I can sneak into a building in the school and just sleep in there,
Oh god.
anything that's indoors, knowing that this plan would not work. Um, go into the school grounds because it was all like open, like there was no like gates or anything like that. It was all like open entryway and stuff. Go around the outside of the school, go to the sports hall, uh, type in the code to get into the sports hall. Shock horror, the door's locked. So stupid drunk me decides to start yanking on the door, like constantly putting the code in, pulling on the door to try and get it open. What do you expect happens next? The alarm goes off. So now
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
oh shit, and I just leg it out of there. I leg it out of the grounds, through the car park, and then literally, probably the only time in my whole life, run across an open road without looking. just shoot across the road onto the opposite side of the road, and then just keep running in the streets that's on the opposite side, whilst I can hear this alarm in the background just blaring out. Um, so yeah, so that plan
Jesus
didn't work.
Christ.
So I'm running down the street. I get to the far end, and I'm like, okay, right, let's think of a new plan. Oh, hang on, the train station's nearby. Okay, I wonder if I can get in the train station. Um, almost get arrested by a security guard.
Oh
Um,
my god.
because yeah, shock horror, the train station's also closed in the middle of the night. And he tells me, "Hey, look, kid, why don't you just go to the police station and sleep in the reception? Like you can, the police will let you stay there." So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So I start walking towards the police station. I get to the front door, and I'm like, I don't want to sit in the reception of a police station all night. There's going to be these people just staring at me. And then that's when I come up with the genius idea to just walk home. Just walk all the way back, about like 11, 12 miles.
Oh
Uh,
my
walk,
god.
walk all the way back home. Um, it was like, but by this point, all the messing around I'd done, this must have been like a good hour. I'd messed, probably longer than that, an hour and a half. I'd been walking around trying to break into places. So by this point, it's like 4 in the morning, and I'm like, you know what? I'm already awake. Let's just walk home. Fuck it. And then yeah, so I just literally walk because it was in the middle of the summer. By about half an hour into this walk, it was already
Hmm.
starting to get bright. So this it was starting to get like darkish blue and then lightish blue, and then the sun came up. Um,
Right.
and I couldn't have timed it better. I got back just as my dad was leaving for work, and he thought I'd just been dropped off, like I just got like a taxi or something. It's like, oh, you're back. He's like, how was your night out? She's like, yeah, it was great. And snuck in, went to bed, and that was it, and got away with it.
Jesus Christ.
Um, it was quite the
Oh
walk.
my god.
It was
Oh
quite the
yeah.
experience. I mean, it was quite the
11
experience.
miles, dude.
Middle,
Christ.
middle of yeah, middle of the night.
I know we go
Nothing,
by miles here.
nothing in the way of like I don't know what 11 miles is, like 9 kilometers or something, eight or 9 kilometers,
Uh,
something like that.
okay. 3 miles is 5 kilometers.
Oh, is it? Sorry, is it the other way around? Okay, so
Yeah.
15 kilometers maybe. Yeah. No, no,
15
more than that.
kilometers. That's about 9 miles.
That's even more than that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
There's nothing in the way of like cars. There was like barely any cars. I don't even remember like any people during this whole walk. There must have been some people like at some point, but at no point did I feel like I was in danger.
Right.
I had the idea of the route mapped out in my head, like which way I was going to walk home. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to walk down this street, like avoiding all of the main roads if I could. Um, yeah, it was quite the experience.
Yeah, I
I don't think I could do it these days because I'm too old to like stay awake, and I'm also not sure if my legs could take all that walking for 4 hours straight.
right. No, I everything that I do is like a normal walking distance, like under a mile
Hmm.
from like point A to B to
Yeah.
point B, like from the school and back to the fucking the function. But no, there was only a select few times where I just fucking got in a vehicle and luckily they were going back. So, yeah, no, I definitely agree. Have your place to stay chosen. I talked about it on the one podcast, the first one, about how I had to stay in my friend's dorm because my roommate had his girlfriend over. So I couldn't stay, in my own dorm. So I had to sort that out. Like that's an important thing to do if you're
Hmm.
gonna have fun and do that shit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. See, we've all made mistakes.
Oh yeah, even Hunter. I mean, if nothing else, um, the great joys from the first time we did this was remember well two things really. It was remembering all some of these things I got up to many years ago, and then getting the satisfaction of knowing that Swan was very impressed
With the
by
yeah.
my shenanigans.
Oh my god, that was that dude. It's still that story is still fucking legendary. I
Oh,
feel so I have a like stigma with that where I'd be like, oh yeah, probably feel bad for the dude, but like that's fucking awesome.
it was. I can still remember. I'd have to go back and watch it, but like I can still remember Swan. It's just like, he had the balls to Hunter to do that with the boyfriend there.
That is legendary.
Um, one of my other lucky times. Obviously that was the first that I'd said at that point.
Right.
Um, I haven't actually been with that many women. I should say that, but one
Yeah.
of the other times when I have been with a woman was on a night out. It was a pickup. It was a one night stand.
Oh
Um,
god.
it was nothing. It was nothing bad. Certainly nothing. She was very nice. But
Right.
nothing came of it. It was just a sort of like it was literally what it says on the tin. It was one night, and then that was it. I never spoke to her again. Never saw her again. Never messaged her again. Um,
Right.
but she was nice, and it was good fun.
Yeah, that's the number one rule.
Have
It's to
fun.
have fun.
Yeah, have fun, but be safe, kids.
Yeah. Nope. Whenever you get old enough to do this shit, just be safe. That's my number one rule, actually.
Hmm.
And then have fun.
Yeah.
This is the one time I'll substitute the number one rule for having fun is be safe. And you should know to a certain degree what safe is. Like at least when I did all this fuck shit, I was around people I trusted.
Yeah. So
You know.
if
So if things went south, I'd still be good.
if Champ became a chump because he drank too much, at least he had other people there to save him and
Exactly.
get him home.
Oh my god, there are times. Oh, dude, this is actually really funny. The one a girl that I was friends with that we went on the Dave and Buster's trip with, that was really pissed off at the one friend of mine, right?
Hmm.
She went out with us one night, to one of the frat houses. Boy, howdy, did I have to take care of her. She was no bueno. Cause like apparently some dude was just like giving her shots and shit behind our but like all of our backs. So she was
Hmm.
a lot more intoxicated than even she planned to be. Like could barely walk functional.
Hmm.
And then of course me who was already decently intoxicated too was put in charge of getting her back. Oh god,
I
that
think
was
I
that was
can't.
awful.
I think I did tell this one on the first one, but the one time that me and all my college friends went on a proper night out, we went into well, went to the big city, which was Birmingham,
Mhm.
like 20 odd miles away, whatever. And we all booked into a hotel. I can't remember. I've definitely told this story before, but I'm not sure if if it was in the first podcast. We all booked into the same hotel, so it was the boys all in one room, the girls all in their room.
Yeah.
And we were doing our pre-drinks in the girls' room, and
Right.
one of the girls, God bless her, she's so innocent, but oh my God, she was drinking way too much for the pre-drinks. Well, no, sorry, I'm not sure if
We've all been there.
she was
We've
probably
all been
drinking
there.
too much, but like not like insane too much. She was drinking more than the rest of us. But I think it was the stuff she was drinking as well was incredibly strong. Um,
Right.
and it just destroyed her. And yeah, she ended up throwing up in the bathroom. And all I can remember then is her just like lying against the wall, sideways on, with her head sticking over the toilet,
Oh my
um,
god.
crying She's just like, I've ruined the night for everyone. It's like, no,
Oh
Amy,
God.
we'll get you cleaned up. And yeah, and then she was cleaned up enough that she was able to go out, and we were all able to go out, whilst keeping an eye on her.
Right.
Um, but then when the night ended, another one of the girls, Beth, that I was very close with, I think the heels she was wearing had destroyed her feet by the end of the night, and so I had to carry her back into the hotel, or back to the hotel room,
Right.
because she was just unable to walk. Um,
Oh my God.
so that was my equivalent of carrying someone.
No, here's the deal. This girl is like very like if she thinks she can do something, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this shit, and I don't need help. She's a
From
very I don't
drinking.
need help person.
Is that from a
So
drinking
whenever she
thing or
can't
anything?
walk well,
Ah,
and I'm like trying to help her walk, and she's
oh,
like, oh, I got it, I got it, I got it, and then she like falls like 2 seconds after I let her go,
yeah.
and I'm just like, you did that shit to yourself. I'm sorry.
2 seconds later, face first onto the floor, bang.
And she did that like 5 times. I don't know how she didn't get like a bunch of bruises and shit, but like, uh, we got there. I was
Mm,
I was a bit too intoxicated to take care of her, but like it worked out. You know,
yeah.
I don't know how, but it did. And
In a few months, it'll be coming up to 4 years since I had a proper night out. I haven't been on a night out since COVID,
you
and
gotta go do some wacky shit, bro. Go out and like talk to the honeys in Liverpool, bro.
why has it got to be Liverpool? Why would I drive 3 hours to
I,
talk
I,
to
I,
honeys in?
I just kind of figured it was close to you because you like their soccer team, bro.
Nah, no, I'm a long distance fan.
I don't know where the fuck you're from then. Fuck.
No, I'm 3 hours away. I live in the middle of the country.
Makes sense. Right in the
Um,
barren wasteland that is the UK.
um, the shit. Actually, I forgot what I was going to say then. Oh yeah, so it's a common joke, especially like when they were really good, that everyone that was a fan of Manchester United doesn't
This is a
actually live in
bandwagon.
doesn't live in Manchester. Like they were
Right.
on the bandwagon because they lived everywhere else except Manchester, but they all pretended to be Manchester United fans because they were easily the best team in the country. Um, and now they're a pile of shit, and it's great. Been
Whoop whoop.
years, 10 years of them being shit, and it's great. If a specific team doesn't win the league this year, so this season, which obviously starts this year and then ends
Right.
next year, if they don't win it this season, it'll have been 20 years since they won a title. You know who that team is? The Arsenal.
Oh shit. Do you like
20
to see the Arsenal playing the fucking World Cup?
Wayne Rooney.
The fucking Prem, bruv.
Wayne Rooney's actually doing. Oh my God! Actually, he's let himself go. So he's with you guys now. He's like the head coach of a team in Washington D.C. I think it's the
Oh
team he
really?
played. I think it's the team he played for when he was over there the first time. Um,
Right.
but when the interviews I've seen of him, because a lot of the media was doing interviews with him where like in July because a lot of the Premier League teams go to America for their preseason stuff.
Right.
Um, and all the interviews or press conferences I saw of him, my God, he's let himself go. He's bald, he's fat, he's got his ugly looks back again. He was doing pretty well to get rid of them, and now his ugly looks are back again. Um,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
That's the American way, brother. It's
Well, I don't know if it's America or if that's just him.
the American way, brother. Get this man a Big Mac.
Yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Well, I'm just trying to think of another one, but I can't, so I'm happy to wrap it up.
Yeah, me too. I think this was one of our more successful podcasts as of late. I'm not gonna lie, more
Well,
functional podcast as of
more
late, which is
functional
weird because
and
I was not functional for a lot of these stories.
yeah, certainly
Uh,
simmering a lot more. There was no necessary takes or necessary topics of conversation. Uh, of
we got that out already. Yeah.
Yeah, we already did all that. You guys can watch the old podcasts, or the
Yep.
future podcasts, depending on when this one comes out.
I can't wait to get Swantron back. I feel like for every season of a Bald podcast, it's an essential to get Swantron.
Well,
Cause
we better
remember when
hurry
I
up.
was back over the winter and I made it like a fucking goal to get Swantron online to do a fucking podcast.
That's why it's so annoying when I'm gonna go have a look right now because I'm sure he's online, right? Yes, he is. It fucking kills me when this dude just like, how does this dude survive with his electricity bill? Like, just
I
leaves
know.
the Xbox on.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Um, yeah, it's just like, and of all the times like that I've seen Swan, the only time I feel like I've seen Swan these last like 5 or 6 months is when he pops in for Smokey's premiere a couple of weeks ago.
Oh
The
my god,
only
yeah.
is the only time, and then he got into a beef argument with Puma afterwards, talking about abs.
Oh yeah, because Puma was being fucking rude about abs.
Puma was being Puma. Puma was going on
Yeah,
his
Puma's kind
retirement.
of yeah.
I will give Puma one credit, and I need to message him actually. I liked his list of Halo courses idea because I, for the longest time, struggled to remember all the old shit, even though I am old and therefore I'm qualified to remember the old shit. But
Yeah.
I struggle to remember all of the different names of the different courses and who did them. So I need to message him and tell him to bring that list back to the top of the page because
Right, yeah.
it's way gone, and I can't remember what was on what we where we got to on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there have been a lot. Dude, I actually found the old Halo Sasuke, like in Halo 3 video, and I put a comment on there just like, who's this fucking imposter?
It's so difficult, I think. I think it's so difficult now. So it's great, obviously, what Halo jumping has become. Certainly compared to the old days, when there was, I
Back in
mean,
my day.
let's not forget
Sorry.
that probably about 5 years ago, Puma, perhaps rightly in some ways, wrong in other ways. It might have been 6 years, but let's just say it was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Puma Puma was coming out with his Halo jumping is dead comment, and that
it
was
was pretty
five.
dead.
That was only 5 years
It
ago,
was
and look at
pretty
it
dead
now.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, look at it now. In five
You want to
years,
know who I'm gonna blame for that? It being
Ch
so alive?
Jumpy.
Put on my shades real quick. The
Oh
minor
no, sorry.
courses, baby.
Oh okay.
Woo!
I was gonna say Irish.
Win
I was
Chumpy!
gonna say Irish because Irish has hosted the most tournaments, but
W Chumpy! Dude, you
the
know
one
who actually
negative
brought it back. You know who actually brought it back. Sonic started a
Sonic.
bit before
Yeah,
me,
Sonic did it
but
first. Yeah.
me and Sonic started at around the same fucking time. Like, we brought that shit back, bro. It was us. Don't even kid yourself.
No, I'm gonna give the credit to Sonic on this one, not you.
Don't, like, kid yourself. Irish started later, like I think about 6 or 7 months later, right after I already got my course fucking going. And then Flame started his a while after. I give me and Sonic the full fucking credit. And you know what? Now we're a fucking team, a fucking unit on the Halo Sasuke. Woo!
That's true. Anyone in the Discord that's seen that, um,
Yeah, no, so basically, if I'm going to get into that a tad, if that's okay, how that's going to work is basically, I'm the lead editor, I'm the lead forger still. I basically have complete role over everything. Sonic, if you break down his powers as a co-host, I can compare it to a cameraman. Uh, basically, I had a long conversation with Sonic a couple days ago over certain things. I'm not gonna get into all of it, but he brought up that he missed hosting again, but didn't want to get back into Ninjas of Halo because editing and foraging, it all takes too long, right? Doesn't have
Mm,
time for that.
mm.
And I was just like, you want to record runs? And he's like, I'd record runs. And I was just like, you want to record runs for Halo Sasuke? And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you see here, Sonic, I disappear in the coming days. And I am going to be leaving my tournament behind. I'm going to be leaving the community behind for a couple months. I need somebody to take the reins while I'm gone. To keep Halo Sasuke as a slightly not major course. the major joke. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah,
If we didn't hit that, I
yeah.
don't actually give a shit about major or minor. I just want people to care about mine more because duh. Uh,
W.
um, and I was like, if you're gonna be near an Xbox and I'm gonna be not near an Xbox with a lot of free time to do editing and stuff, we can make this work, you know. And that's what we're gonna do. So basically, he's gonna record runs. He's gonna time runs. He's gonna basically be a host. If there's any lag or any close decisions, those get decided by myself. They will all be sent to me. I will make that decision. If I am not there, I'll let Sonic make that call. But I told him under no circumstances do we do a bullshit call. And of that sorts, if you know what I mean. And if I catch that, I'm gonna do something about it, right? So I heard a complaint from fucking, I think it was Joey Davis, which you know how Joey is. He's kind of a fucking pessimist all the time. He's like, I don't trust Sonic to record my runs because of the way he is. And I'm just like, I've already sorted that out, bud. But yeah, under no circumstances
Would it kill you
is
to
he
hear
allowed.
me say I don't trust Sonic to record my run? The first thing when I saw the message was like, when I read it, I was like, I'm gonna wait till Chumpy gets back.
I said that. So how do I word this? Any decisions that need to be made on like a close call or lag, it all goes through me. It's straight up just Sonic fan recording.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's not optimal, but obviously the not being able to host while I'm gone isn't optimal, you know. And I figured
Yeah.
this would be something that could keep my show still, running while I'm gone, you know. So that's the plan.
We won't know if it works till it's tried. So
Exactly. And if it doesn't work, if something goes wrong, we can cross that bridge. Halo Sasuke has already had its known, you know, predicaments before. This would be just, if it doesn't go wrong, at least it's not my fault. It's my fault for allowing it to an extent, but like, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
at that point, it's on Sonic. So. I trust him though, and I know a lot of people are kind of having a hard time doing that, but I think I've had a lot, I guess, closer of a friendship with Sonic than a lot of other people in the server. So, just know I trust him. You know, I trust him as like a real life friend, and trust him to do this stupid fucking Halo course.
Yeah.
So. I think that it's a fair thing to give Sonic a shake and see how it goes. You know.
Yeah.
I think it'll go. I honestly think that it will be completely fine. Honest to God. And that's all I've really got to say about it because honestly, I'm so for it, and I only feel like I have to respond to people who are questionable about it. You know.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with it. It's not optimal, again, obviously, but you do what you gotta do to keep the show running. I can't like be I'm gonna say use the word important, even though all courses are important in my mind. But that's not the case for everyone. It's hard to keep a level of importance when I have to keep taking breaks.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
my way of keeping it going.
that's fair enough.
So I did this for you guys, the people who like running. So for those of you complaining, go fuck yourself. No, just kidding.
Did they lock up the other party? Oh my god, I'm sure Smuggy's not doing a giant podcast right now, but there's a lot of people
that
in a
would be
Halo Infinite custom game right now.
that would be a pretty damn big podcast. I don't,
What
I
are
don't
they all
know.
doing? I assume they must be in separate custom games. They can't all be in the same. But if they
No,
were
they're
all
all
in
in
the
the
same,
same custom game. I have
what
it
are they
loaded up.
doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Halo Ninja Warrior Live. Wait, it premieres tomorrow, right?
it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We would have
Any
missed it
any other
if it
thoughts?
was
I,
if
I
it was
think this
today. We
is
would have missed it.
yeah. Any other
Um.
thoughts? Because like, if we're being real, we might have one more podcast.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Before
Yeah,
I
we're not
go
sure.
back,
We're not
we're
sure
not
yet.
really sure. So if you have any,
Chumpy's still trying to really push for that Swan podcast before he leaves. Um.
yeah, I'm working on it. Trust me, it's hard sometimes. But
Mm.
any last minute like thoughts before we go? Like your opinions on the way everything's going. Just like
Yeah.
fucking what's the word? Just
It'll
like
it'll it'll feel weird not if this is the last if this is my last contribution to this season of our bowl podcast. It'll feel weird to have gone from like 3 or 4 months of hype Chumpy talking about his course all the time to not having Chumpy there for another like for most of the next 4 months. Um,
yep.
it'll feel weird. It'll definitely feel weird.
I will say there's a lot more opportunity when I am home, which is great.
Mm.
Like I'll be on Thanksgiving weekend,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's gonna be another break where I'm home for a bit, and I plan on spending that time, like a certain
Remember
chunk of
when
it
remember
here.
when you came up with that big remember when you suggested that grand idea of you doing all your golf rounds in one go to sort of help with the new season and we don't even have to worry about the new season yet because the old season still hasn't
It's
finished.
still fucking going. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell Irish like it's either I do it this week or I can't at all.
Nah, fuck
Like,
him. Fuck him. He's given no indications. You've got your own jobs. You've got forging to do. Anyway, on that note,
oh. All right.
um,
Uh, if this is the last episode of the season, uh, it's been real talking to you guys for multiple hours in this season. I'm gonna get really sad because I've just now thought about leaving for a couple months, and I fucking love this shit, and it gets really sad leaving it. I don't know how else to put that, but
yeah.
um, I've
The
appreciated you guys listening. Because goddamn, must I be hard to listen to sometimes. uh, and I've appreciated you guys' support on the podcast. We've been doing this for over a fucking year now. This fucking podcast. That's wild. Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna get my contract.
Deuces.
I'm gonna get my contract modified to move over to a different podcast.
Oh,
For the
no,
next
no,
couple
no,
of
no,
months.
no, 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 you can't do that. No, Snaz has that thing locked down. Snaz has the HW podcast
Oh
locked
yeah,
down.
I'm elbowing
Maybe
Snaz.
Courtney has it, honestly.
I'm elbowing Snaz out the door. And now
I,
Hunter's.
I think I think Snaz and fucking Chopstick have it over you.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, dude, Chopstick did. She's like got that fucking radio voice.
Yeah. I haven't really had pretty much any opportunity to properly have a conversation with Courtney, outside of
Yeah,
like being in a massive party, like with that premiere. But
yeah.
yeah, it'd be kind
I,
of cool to
I've
get to know her a little bit.
Yeah, no, she's chill. I've talked to her a couple times. So
Yeah.
obviously I'm on late at night a lot more, so that's how it goes.
Yeah, the time difference probably doesn't help
Yep.
for me.
Anyways, it's been
Anyway,
real.
yeah.
Help your parents load the dishes, or you know what? Help your dad mow the lawn. Do some yard work with dad, while it's still nice out over the summer.
We
I turned 20 in fucking not how many days? Like 15? No, 16 days. I turned 20.
That's what I was going to say. Is that we've just had this big goodbyes, but it kind of doesn't really properly matter because this podcast isn't coming out until a specific scheduled date anyway. So at least a portion of this like gap of us not doing anything will have already been filled by the time this podcast comes out. But yeah.
Yeah, these podcasts are gonna last us until about November.
And then like Chumpy's
for-
back for Christmas to maybe film. Maybe we'll do a one-off Christmas podcast.
Oh
I don't know.
shit!
I don't know
yeah.
if we could. I don't know if I could manage another triple bill of podcasts like we did last Christmas, but
Oh
we
my
could
God.
certainly
Well,
do.
you only were you were in 3 of them technically, but one of them got fucked up.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could certainly do a one Christmas one.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. And
Maybe that's where we
honestly,
get Swan back.
I would say this is what like early November right now when this is coming up. Hopefully, I have edited 18, and I'm coming back Thanksgiving week, commentating it, and uploading it late November. So that way I can have tournament 19 to edit when I get back for winter break, and tournament 20 to host when I'm back for winter break. It'll be pretty sweet that whole winter. I'll be busy. Just you guys wait. Anyways, I'm gonna end this because we've been rambling on way too fucking long, I think, for my liking, and
All
I've
right,
been
guys.
acting like a bit too much of a pussy as of late because of how sad I am. But, anyways, deuces, guys.
See you guys.